Hi, Cancer. Welcome. So, Cancer, this is going to be your you versus them reading. I'm going to go back and forth between you and the person you may be connecting with. Keep in mind that it's a general reading, so the roles may be reversed. Feel free to flip them if you need to. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And let's go ahead and get started. So, when I was preparing for this reading, Cancer, I was getting some messages around kind of this feeling of like, I don't want to say being taken for granted, although some of you may feel like, that you've extended yourself to this person or just people in general. It may not even be related to the person this reading's about, but take it as it resonates. And just feeling like either underappreciated or it being overlooked or something taken for granted, okay? That's the initial message that I got through. And if this isn't how you're feeling, it could be that someone you're connecting with feels that way about you. Keep that in mind. It is a general. But I just kind of get like this feeling of like, almost like something's missing. And I'm getting words like missing puzzle piece and missing link. So this should be an interesting reading. Also, I was getting a song by the artist LP. The song is called Lost on You. And what she's saying in that song is like, all the things I've done for you, is that lost on you? So again, there's that message again coming through about like some sort of acknowledgement being needed here. And I know that this reading is about another person, but I always want to bring it back to what's most important, which is our relationship with ourselves, right? And nothing gets lost, right? When it comes to our relationship with our higher self, with our source, everything is taken accounted for. And sometimes if we can't get that appreciation out of other people, it's because we are not necessarily appreciating ourselves or valuing ourselves, right? Like they're giving me the word martyr syndrome. Not saying you're being like that, but it's, sometimes, especially for my Cancerian feminines, sometimes y'all give so much of yourself that you don't give back to self. You give so much of yourself to others that you don't give back to self. Well, law of attraction can only bring you, right, a match to how you truly feel about yourself. And so a lot of the times when people are underappreciating us, it is because we are underappreciating ourselves. Some food for thought, right? All right, so let's go into the reading here, Cancer, and go a little bit deeper. You have the semi-sextile of allowing. This is talking about encouraging you to see the potential, encouraging you to see your own growth. This also talks about receiving some kind of reward or something coming to fruition. It's definitely a growth cycle for you when it comes to not just this relationship, but I feel like your overall spiritual growth is gaining momentum as we go into 2023. All right, so let's see what your overall energy is. You have the Knight of Cups and the Eight of Cups. So this is about knowing what to walk away from, okay, on a spiritual and emotional level. This is like also saying, if you are not getting what you need out of a partnership or a friendship or whatever, that sometimes it is in your best interest to remove yourself from that situation or kind of detach from it. So something to consider too as we go through the rest of this year. Some of you, because there is spiritual growth in knowing when to walk away as well, right? And knowing when you're not valued. I'm sorry, there's just so many messages around that, Cancer. Like I cannot get away from that message. But anyways, there's some sort of spiritual growth coming in for you. Person you're connecting with is the Page of Swords. Not the best energy. This talks about gossip. It talks about trust issues. It talks about reading between the lines too much. Sometimes even like a paranoia type of vibe. So backstabber. Whoa. Okay. I don't like to go that negative in the readings. So, if that resonates with you, whatever, take it. But something funky going on here. Why? And I'm getting the song Funky Cold Medina. I think that's the name of it. So random. All right. All right, so let's go into recent past energy, what led up to the now moment. Then we're going to look at how you're both perceiving each other, how you genuinely feel underneath it all, and most likely future outcomes. All right. I cannot get away from that LP song either, which is such a good song. Like, I love her as an artist, but there's one part of the song where she says, smoke 'em if you got 'em, 'cause it's going down. All I ever wanted was you. Let's raise a glass or two to all the things I've lost on you. Is that lost on you? Tell me, is that lost on you? Whoa. Okay, check out that song. It may resonate with you. You may actually randomly hear that song over the next month or so. If so, come back to this reading. Anyways, let's see what we have coming through in the recent past, what led up to the now for you, Cancer. Then we're going to go to the person you are connecting with. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Tower in the reverse, the Five of Cups, Hangman, King of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. So there's some sort of big change or move or movement that seems to have completely like overwhelmed you, Cancer, or drained you, maybe physically, emotionally, definitely spiritually. It's just like the sense of like feeling like no matter how much you're doing, right? No matter how much you're giving, you don't seem to be getting it in return. And I don't even feel like it's just specifically about this person, but take it as it resonates. I just feel like this is kind of in general right now. Like, why am I not getting back from the universe what I feel I am capable of giving or what I am giving? And I think that's why that message came through at the very beginning, you know, about like, the universe can only deliver to you how you feel about your own worthiness, how good you are at filling your own cup up, right? So if you've been in this space, Cancer, especially my feminines, but feminine, masculine, where you're over giving and you're overextending to people who don't appreciate or deserve that out of you, and then therefore you are, by you doing that, you are not valuing yourself the way that you think that you are. Sometimes we think that we're being honorable, right, by putting others before ourselves, because we are taught that through our conditioned thinking. The reason why that always leads to resentment, though, is because you are here to love and provide for self, right? But as you love and provide for yourself, then you naturally have that love and energy to give, okay? And you'll give it easily when you're in love with self, when you're in love with life, because you'll feel it. Now, what most people make the mistake of is that they deny themselves of their own love and worth. They deny themselves of the things that they want and need to appease other people, which seems like it's caring for others, but actually what you're doing is negating yourself, because you're giving from an empty cup. And also, anything that you give from that attraction point will not be appreciated by the people you are giving it to, because you are not a match to appreciation, because you are not matching yourself. You are not appreciating yourself. Is this making sense to you? I just want you to understand how it works, because I feel like this is really important. And I know this is a you versus them reading, but it seems like something that I can't get away from. So I guess moral of the story, Cancer, is do what's best for you, boo. You know, like, if something is draining you, walk away from it. Stop giving to it. You don't owe anybody anything, right? You owe yourself everything, though. You know what I mean? Like, why am I giving you this pep talk? Please don't click off. But this is like how the message is coming through, all right? And so I'm just a messenger, but that's kind of what I feel. Now, I feel like this is past energy, but I don't feel like it's that far past or that far gone, because it still seems to be like really prominent in this reading. But anyways, moving on. I feel like here you are coming into the space, though, where you are feeling more empowered. So a lot of you, I'm preaching to the choir. You already know this. You're already putting yourself first. Your confidence is coming back. Your energy is coming back. Feeling more assured about yourself. This is after a period of taking some sort of time to self, though. So some of you might still be in this very drained type of energy, but I feel like you are going to, you know, be able to see it from a different perspective, take the time that you need, rest if you need to, and you will bounce back, or you are already bouncing back. So that's for sure. I almost said that's what's up. That's what's up. You know, I don't even really talk like that. But, you know, whatever. Okay, so recent past energy for the person you're connecting with, for my Cancers. And you know what? Oops. Well, let me get these cards out. Then I'm going to have to pause this for a second. All right, 5 of Wands, the Fool. Holy cow. 2 of Cups, 7 of Cups, Knight of Wands, 3 of Pentacles. Hold on. Sorry about that. Anyways, all right, so your person has the 5 of Wands, the Fool, the 2 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the 3 of Pentacles. So there's some sort of internal struggle that this person had going on in regards to some sort of new beginning that was coming through that directly impacted this connection and or just like relationships in general. I feel like this person was a little bit confused as to like where they wanted to put their time and energy. Where did they want to invest their time and energy? What was the best way to go about things? What was the best action to take, right? And I just got the term sidestepping. Okay, so you know how like when someone doesn't necessarily like want to confront the truth or doesn't want confrontation, so they sidestep the situation or they like bounce around the point, or it's almost like an avoidance of the truth of something. There's some sort of avoiding the truth. There also could have been some side stepping of boundaries. Okay, so there's that message again about boundaries, healthy boundaries. So let's go into perception then and see, Cancer, where we are at with that. How are you perceiving each other? Keep in mind that perception is in the eye of the beholder. So maybe how you see it may not be how they see it, but we'll start there. Or not. There goes half my deck. Hold on a second. I feel like too, things feel a little bit like unorganized, okay, just in general, not just because my reading is all over the place, but I just kind of get like that energy, like, you know, you might be feeling like a little bit unorganized or things are kind of all over the place, whether that be like literally or just energetically feeling like scattered. Anyways, how you see this person, the Strength card, the King of Pentacles. So I feel like, Cancer, when it comes to this person, I feel you know that this person is someone who's kind of going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. Maybe even set in their ways. There's kind of like this, there's this strong, I was going to say strong-willed type of energy, but I actually got hard-headed. So this person could be someone who's a bit hard-headed, or at least that's how you view them. And then I also heard, but you have a tendency to be hard-headed too. So sometimes the things that we see in other people are often things that we mirror. So just something to be aware of for a little self-reflection. But I just feel like, you know, there's this sense here that like, there's either a fear of being led astray, or you feel that you've been led astray, or that this person is going to be led astray. And And I'm getting terms like can't see the forest through the trees type of thing. And then blind to their own misgivings. Star card. Some of you dealing with an Aquarius, but doesn't even matter. Also, I do feel like January being an important time for this connection. Okay, FYI. Let's see how this person perceives you. The High Priestess. That song is still right there. I wonder what LP's sign is. I believe LP is a Pisces. The Hermit, the Lovers, the Chariot, and the Four of Cups. So, when it comes to how this person perceives you, Cancer, or the connection, I definitely feel like this person feels intuitively and spiritually drawn to the connection. But I also feel like this aloofness or this detachment around it. They may feel that you are, you know, like in your own little world, or but again, they could be projecting, because it could be them that's actually coming off like aloof or detached or in their own little world, but yet they're perceiving it as you being the one doing that. See, that's why perception is tricky unless you're really self-aware. Oftentimes we think what we're seeing is another person, but what we're failing to see is it's us that's doing it. And I feel like there is this commonality between you and this person of needing to do better, okay, at self-reflecting and asking, you know, ourselves at the end of the day, is that the truth of, you know, how that person is or is feeling, or is that a reflection of what I'm feeling and I am projecting it and perceiving it that way? Self-reflection and self-work is not easy to do, and a lot of people don't do it, but I feel like this reading is so intense. Like, it's so intense. Like, I cannot even get away from the message. And I'm getting that this message is coming through so intensely because there could be such a positive shift in your life, but also in this connection, if you truly grasp the concepts that are coming through from Spirit that I'm speaking to you. Because it's almost like if you change your energy or your perspective on this connection, it changes everything. You know what I mean? Which is always how it works. That's why they say if you want to see change in the world, you must first change yourself. Because the world is nothing but a reflection of us, right? Of ourselves. So, yeah, okay. I definitely think that this person's very perceptive, Cancer, and probably very intuitive. So they're also someone, you know, and from an intuitive person myself, I can attest to this. They're also someone, because of that sensitivity, that they can feel the slightest change in energy or the slightest slight coming from another person or you, right? So like maybe even if you don't communicate with this person, there's someone who's likely going to pick up on the shift in your energy anyways. You know what I mean? Especially if you're spiritually connected to this person. And, you know, I have a few connections where I'm really, really, really tied spiritually to that person, or I'm very close to them. And I can feel it. Like before that person even reaches out to me or calls me, I'll just get an intuitive feeling that something is off, something is wrong, you know, and I'm always right? So it's kind of like that type of bond, that type of situation, okay? So let's go deeper into the heart space and see what we have going on there. King of Cups. What is the deal with all of these cards wanting to fly out? No. Nine of Cups, the Seven of Cups. And the Death and Rebirth card. So on an emotional level here, Cancer, I feel like there is, again, there's like this deep intuitive knowing that's coming through. And if this reading is resonating, then this is resonating with you. It's like finally recognizing, right, that the change that you're looking for is not a change with this person or other people. It's something that you're looking to do for yourself. Because I feel like there's some sort of confusion here as to like how to make something work or how to make this successful. And the reason like the solution hasn't been evident is because you've been looking outside of yourself for it, when in all reality, it is as simple as changing your mind and your heart and your perspective. It's like when you can change your energy, Cancer, it changes the energy around the situation, right? And they're specifically giving me the word hopefulness. They want you to infuse more hopefulness into your life, not even making it about this connection. I mean, just in general, like this sense of like faith. Faith will always lead you in the right direction, right? So, let's see this person's energy. Hold on a second. Sorry about that again. I knew there was going to be a lot of distractions in this reading. So, all right, yeah, let's see what's going on in your heart space then, Cancer, and what you got going on in your heart space for my Cancerians. Or I'm sorry, for the person you're connecting to. Person you're connecting to, Hangman. The Hangman, the Tower, the Ten of Wands. Eight of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. So this person has a tendency to hold on to things when they shouldn't. I heard hold on to grudges. Okay, well, they might be a fixed sign as well. Sometimes fixed signs have trouble with that. Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus. But take it as it resonates. We can all do that to some extent. But there's some sort of big shift or change that's going on with this person emotionally that feels kind of heavy. That also has them needing to self-reflect, to self-evaluate, right? I feel like this person, what they're needing to self-evaluate is their need to be right all the time. Wow, that just kind of flew out of my mouth. Like, oh my gosh, don't be mad at me if you're the cross watcher. But I do feel like this person tends to hold on to things and, you know, I don't know if it's coming from the space of like controlling things, wanting to feel more in control and therefore, you know, feeling like they need to always control the environment. But there is some self-work needed going on in this person's heart space, okay, before they can really move forward. Also, there does seem to be like either gossip surrounding this connection or trust issues going on, okay? And I did get the term back, well, now I'm hearing backbiting. So I don't know if that's like there's some sort of outside influence here around the connection or that's going on within the connection, but take it as it resonates. I do feel like this person is going through some major changes and shifts right now. And it's on an emotional level, right? I also get like there's like some skepticism around this. Either around this it could be coming from this person, but I actually feel like this is outside of the connection, you know, like in the friends group or family or an outside influence of some sort, where it seems to be like other people weighing in or throwing shade, or I don't even want to go that far, like other opinions somehow involved here, okay? Let's see what the most likely future outcome is then, Cancer, and go from there. Keep in mind, all of the future outcomes can be changed with free will. All right, you're in the driver's seat, no one else. The Magician, the Two of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Four of Cups. So I feel like you are manifesting a solution here, and there is communication or insight or answers coming in, and it has to deal with like why someone seems to be a little bit distant, whether that's you or like the person you're connecting with. And it could certainly, again, be coming from you, Cancer, because I do get like this sense of like, I'm getting the term la la land, like you kind of being in like your own little planet, or like you're being consumed with your own thoughts that you might not be fully present, like with those people and places that like are currently surrounding you. You know what I mean? It's like your body is there, but your mind is like focused elsewhere, you know? I do feel like that there's a lot of contemplation going on here, and it's on an emotional and spiritual level. And that's where these changes are coming through, right? And if you remember at the beginning of the reading, they want you to see this as a potential growth opportunity, all right? To appreciate yourself more. Okay, but also as you do that, other people or this person shift their energy and perspective and begin showing appreciation, and or you start attracting that out of others, you know. And then I heard made you look. I literally got the message, haha, made you look. Made you look, you dirty crook. Something your mama's checkbook. Is that like a nursery rhyme? That can't be a nursery rhyme. That seems a little dark. I don't know. Please disregard that if it doesn't resonate with you. Like, I'm sure like one person would be like, understand that, but also, I feel like some of you are manifesting the solution or the answer, and then the answer's coming in clearly and you're ignoring it, or you're oblivious to it. You know, it's like asking for an improvement, An improvement comes in, but you don't see it, or you don't allow yourself to see it, or it doesn't come in maybe the way that you thought it would or the way that you wanted to. But they're saying give appreciation to any improvement that comes in, and the improvement that you are actually wanting will ultimately always come to fruition. It's when we can say thank you for the small things that it builds up to the big things. So like there is some sort of improvement that's coming in for you that they want you to acknowledge, and it, by you acknowledging it, it brings about a greater chance of yet another improvement, because you're focused on the improvement, not the problem. And that's where all of your power is. Where your focus is where your power is. Are you focused on lack mentality or growth potential? So let's see this person's most likely future outcome based on free will. Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Swords, the Sun, and the Three of Swords. Why the Three of Swords and the Devil? Why the Three of Swords and the Devil? The Hermit, Virgo energy, Capricorn energy, King of Cups. Okay, so there is some sort of karma being completed through this connection. There is a karmic lesson on this person's end, but also on your end, and that's not a bad thing, right? It's a growth opportunity. I want to keep bringing it back to that. And there's something that is dawning on this person. And I literally got the word dawning. Okay. So it's almost like, you know, when you feel confused about something for a while and then it like dawns on you, like the truth, or you get the clarity, like something like that going on here. And it has to deal with something they've been obsessing over that hurt them, that they're needing to do self-reflection on because it's hindering them. And it has to deal with trust issues when it comes to relationships. Or this like hard-headedness here. Not trying to be hard on your cross-watcher, right? We all got things to grow from. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies and we don't even realize it. You know. But there's emotional growth coming in for this person. But first it begins as something that seems very painful and kind of quite toxic, to be honest with you. Something that maybe they've obsessed over, that they've overthought possibly. But it's because the way that they were looking at it was through the eyes of, again, you know, how to find a solution that was outside of them. And it was never outside of them. The solution was inside of them. Same thing I said earlier. And that's what they're needing to come to the conclusion about, is that they're in charge of their emotions, and that's it. And so there's like this emotional growth or potential for emotional growth that's coming through, that's encouraging this person to see the good, to see the potential both within themselves and within you. And that's where their happiness comes in. That's where clarity comes in. And then the karmic lesson or completion is completed. Wow. This is not your everyday reading, right? Like I don't usually go super deep, a little bit dark even with that one. But I honestly feel like there's such an immense amount of potential here for both of you to really gain something of value, not just on a spiritual level, but yes, on a spiritual level, but also on a, they're saying physical, financial level. So somehow that's also involved, and on an emotional level. So let's see what the guidance is then for you and this person. Theirs has inspire, passion. Oh, okay. So Cancer, if you have felt like that you lost out or that something was lost, let me go back to the song. She says, is all that lost on you? Means she's asking, is all this for nothing? The message that wants to come through absolutely clearly is there is no such thing as a loss. There is only gain and expansion and growth. Expansion and growth. Expansion and growth. Never ever to look at things in a way of lack. Okay. All right. So your advice is serenity. The most important relationship you can have is with yourself. This is of course it would say that, as I spent like 30 minutes talking to you about loving yourself. Okay, the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. Do not let the past and resentment interfere with your serenity. Cancer. Words to live by right there. This person has inspire, passion. Life devoid of passion can be boring, uninspired, a blank canvas that slowly drains. Now is the time to reignite your passion and rejoin life. This is an opportunity to set new goals, which will in turn reconnect you with all that is sacred. This person is needing to find their passion again, and they have an opportunity to have a new beginning, to set some sort of new goal for themselves after they self-reflect. So, wow. Cancer, interesting reading. I'm going to leave it there for now. Zodiac signs that you might be connecting to or have in your own birth chart. I've got Capricorn, Virgo, Leo, Scorpio. I had Aquarius pop out earlier. Cancerian energy, Gemini, Aries, Scorpio again, Leo again, Scorpio again. Yep, Gemini. Those are the primary signs I'm seeing, but keep in mind it's a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it did resonate, please do let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give me a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram for more fun stuff, as I do have videos over there. Excuse me. Hello, Burbski. Anyways, don't click off. I could edit that out, but I'm not going to. Whatever. Where was I? You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. If you're interested, click in the link below, as well as in the About section of my YouTube, where you can find the donation link. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can do so there. Otherwise, I'm wishing you the very best. And until next time, my friends, namaste. Bye.